Greetings, YouTube. The Doctor is in. Dr. Urios Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons & Dragons. And today on the Doctor Spell Prognosis, we're talking about the spell Arcane Eye. This is our first 4th level spell. We're all the way up to the 4th level spells. We've been doing this for quite some time, and we're in the A's, of course. And the first one on our list is Arcane Eye. But first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or a comment. All right, I am giving this spell a B+. It's not super useful in combat, and yes, I do have a tendency to look at things and their use in combat, because generally players don't die outside of combat. There's a lot of role-playing and things like that. This is more or less a near-combat spell, and it's a very good one. So it is a 4th level spell that is usable by wizards, artificers, knowledge domain clerics, and arcane domain clerics. So no sorcerers, no warlocks. Again, I'll bring up a point. I'm not sure why. There are certain spells that are on the wizard list and certain spells that are on the sorcerer list, and they are not interchangeable. It used to be in going back to 3rd edition and 2nd edition, sorcerer and wizard lists were the same. But now they are not the same. They diverged. I don't know what the impetus was for Wizards of the Coast to diverge that, but I digress. So we will talk about Arcane Eye. So it takes an action to cast it. It is a concentration spell. It has a range of 30 feet. It has a verbal, somatic, and material component, which is a bit of bat fur, which is worthless, so that doesn't matter. It does have a duration of an hour. Now, one thing I would like to see with this spell, because it is one that doesn't normally work outside of combat per se, I would like to see it be a ritual spell and not a concentration spell. I think that kind of hinders things, especially for wizards. So you create an invisible magical eye within range that hovers for the duration. You receive mentally receive visual information from the eye, which is normal vision and dark vision out to 30 feet. The eye can look in every direction. As an action, you can move the eye up to 30 feet in any direction. There is no limit to how far away from you the eye can move, but it can't enter another plane of existence. A solid barrier blocks the eye's movement, but the eye can pass through an opening as small as an inch in diameter. That's really important. An inch is really small. So it's the normal size of an eye. I know the thumbnail I have has this big giant eye that makes it look cool, but it's actually a 1-inch diameter eye. Like it's less than an inch in diameter. So it can fit in these small, tiny spaces, which is really important when you need to send the eye in. Now, this is, a near combat spell. It's a reconnaissance spell. It's a spell for the party to figure out what's going on. It does last for an hour. It can't really be attacked. It doesn't have stats or anything, so it doesn't say that, it can be destroyed. And then you mentally receive the visual information from the eye. Now, the eye doesn't hear. That's another thing that we do need to point out. It doesn't hear. So if there's a conversation going on, then you're really not going to be able to hear it. But there are ways to get around that. So it is usable by wizards, and it is a divination spell. So we need to look at the School of Divination, and the wizards at 6th level get this thing that casting divination spells comes easy. So when you cast a spell of 2nd level higher, this is a 4th level spell, when you cast a spell of 2nd level higher, you regain 1 expended spell slot. The slot you regain must be of a level lower than the spell you cast. It can't be higher than 5th. So when you cast this spell, you can regain a 3rd, a 2nd, or a 1st level spell. Now, one of the other things that I do want to point out with this spell is a different spell. And let's see if we can find it. The internet is really slow. Clairvoyance. You create an invisible sensor. Now, the problem with this spell is that it is also concentration. But once you put the Arcane Eye in a place, then you become familiar with the place because you've seen it. So then you replace the Arcane Eye with clairvoyance, clairaudience. You can replace it with the clairvoyance or the clairaudience. So you create an invisible sensor within range of your in a location you're familiar with, or in an obvious location that is unfamiliar to you. When you cast a spell, you choose seeing or hearing. You can use the chosen sense through the sensor as if you were in its place. As an action, you can switch between seeing and hearing. A creature can see the sensor. So it's got to be able to see invisibility. But for the most part, you can have both of these spells. And so let's say you take the eye in somewhere and you see two individuals discussing something. You can't hear anything. You drop the eye and you put in a clairvoyance, and hopefully they didn't see the eye, because the eye's not it is invisible. So that's another great thing too. The eye is invisible. So it's very much like clairvoyance. It's a better version of clairvoyance for just the seeing part. So you bring the eye in, you see individuals, and then you can drop a clairvoyant spell immediately in there to see what's going on, and also to hear what's going on, more importantly. And they're both wizard spells, so that's good. All right, that's what I got for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody later.